there seems to be some form of retaliation, okay, that some teams want to take for Florida State. And I don't necessarily disagree with them. Joe, P5 conferences in a New Year's Six Bowl split $14.8 million. So if you go to a New Year's Bowl, the conferences get it, not the teams. The teams get other monies, but the conferences get $14.8 million when you go to a New Year's Six Bowl. You want to know what you make if you go to the playoff?
What?
Upwards of $70 million. So it's a massive difference and massive increase of what going to a New Year's Six Bowl financially than going to the playoff. But Joe, I'm going to stick to exactly where I am. You can call it doubling down. You can call it whatever it is. I think me and you both have said this on the show. Do I think that Florida State got hosed? Do I think that it's messed up what happened to them? Yes. And I've had a lot of LSU fans mad at and upset with me because I said I thought that the committee got it right. Because obviously Alabama was the team that got in. A bitter rival does. Florida State fans, I'm sorry. I know you hate it. It sucks. I'm with you. It sucks. The problem is that you had a quarterback 2 weeks ago take a safety in the swamp. Okay? Offensively, you seem to be very anemic. And I don't think that in good conscience either, you could make the decision to leave out Alabama. Joe, the truth is there's not one damn thing that Florida State did this year that is as impressive as beating number one Georgia in the state of Georgia. It's not more impressive. Joe, Alabama is 4-1 against top 15 opponents. You want to say the loss. Well, I'm old enough to remember that in a month span, Alabama played – or 6 weeks span, they played 4 of those 5 opponents and went 4-0. So for the last 6 weeks, Joe, they played ranked opponents and won. Georgia being one of them, LSU being another. So I look at this and just say to myself, I get what you're saying. Tennessee at the time being another. I get what you're saying, but if any other team in the country, Texas, would have done the same thing, what would you thought about them? Because Texas didn't play a ranked opponent since, what was it, Oklahoma, Kansas? So 6 weeks ago? And we're talking about, it's SEC bias or it's this bias. I get what you're saying. You're not better than those teams. And by your own criteria, if a key player goes out, you're splitting hairs. No one is saying that Florida State does not deserve to get in. But
Joe, I think a lot of people have said that they don't deserve to get in. A lot of people, now I know that we aren't, but a lot of people have publicly and vocally said that Florida State did not deserve to get in because of their quarterback situation.
They didn't say they did, but did they say that they didn't deserve to get in, or did they say that they did not deserve to get in over Alabama? Because there's a massive difference.
Okay, good point. Before we started this segment, I actually was going to be on your side. Changed my mind already. You managed to change my mind on wanting to disagree with you. Because you know what?
Go ahead, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We have disagreed with each other on this topic since the results were put out there. I am okay, actually, now that I think about it. I'm okay with them being upset. I think it's justified. Right. All I can think about is that how do we imagine, and this is something that we said and a lot of people said leading up to the championship weekend. How do we imagine Texas fans and Alabama fans would have reacted if they were in Florida State's situation? I'd be willing to bet right now that their overreaction would have been far greater than Florida State's fan base and the state and the governor threatening litigation and trying to get money for litigation.
Right.
I would be willing to bet it'd be tenfold. We saw last year when Alabama didn't have the criteria to be in the playoff, then Nick Saban went out of his way to poll people live on broadcast to beg to get Alabama into the playoff. That was when they had less of an argument to get in.
What
I
if
think that
Bama?
Alabama.
Go
What
ahead. Go
were we
ahead.
gonna say? I was just gonna say I think that Alabama and Texas would have had a complete meltdown. This isn't directed at you. This is directed at people saying that they're unreasonable for getting upset and they need to stop crying about it. Texas and Alabama fans are a majority of the ones that are saying that. And they are not in a position to be doing that because they would have freaked out just as much, if not more.
I'm not telling them not to freak out. I'm not telling
I
them.
know you're not. I
You
know
know,
you're not.
just to make it known. I'm also not telling them not to seek legal action. I think that they should. But there are
That
some.
I don't know if I agree with. I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, Joe, if you're missing out on $70 million, you would too. Tim Reynolds reported today that the Orange Bowl news conference was canceled until tomorrow, and people are like, "Oh, what's going on here?" There's also people saying, "Well, they had to move it for other reasons." Okay, it is what it is.
Right.
I understand it, but again, I don't really understand the people saying you don't know what would have happened if we would have got in. Yeah, I do.
Well, you're saying that they would have gotten smoked. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And you know that they would have. And everybody's saying, oh, that's a bad take. How is it a bad take? Because the last time they did it, the team won a national championship. And Joe, what happens? And I know I hate playing what ifs, but what if Alabama goes on to win a national title? Then what? Then what?
Oh, wait. I don't think, and a lot of people are going to hate this. I don't think that that argument is applicable here.
I think it's solely implicable. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you literally in your own criteria say that we're going to get the best four teams. Now, Joe, I did a poll the other day, okay?
Yeah.
And I think like 4,000 or 5,000 people voted on it, whatever it was, okay? I'm not saying that's a lot of people, but 5,000 people is 5,000 people.
That's a pretty sizable amount.
Pretty sizable. I asked, what do you want from the playoff? More quote unquote deserving or best four teams? It was pretty much 70% saying the best four teams. And you know why? It was 70% because the people that are out here bitching and saying, oh, well, they deserve to get in. What they did is that they voted yes because nobody could see that vote, right? Like nobody could see them on an open content, open platform saying, oh, well, no, they should have got in. And they don't have to be they don't have to be the bad guy. So all I'm saying is seek litigation, be pissed off. You should be pissed off, but you wouldn't have been pissed off if you go on to Pasadena and you would have played Michigan and you would have got your teeth kicked in.
I still don't think that they would have gotten their teeth kicked in. And look, just to your point about if Alabama goes on to win a national championship, we understand how fluky football can be sometimes. So there's a theoretic possibility here that Alabama maybe had 2 or 3 losses this year. And I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that if you you could put any team that was within the top 10 that could get hot and go on a run and win a national title. I don't think that proves anything to me if they win the national championship that they're more deserving than Florida State. Did they get the opportunity and did they succeed? Yes, they did. But I don't think that proves to me that they're more deserving. I think what proves to me that they're more deserving is if Florida State goes and gets their asses kicked by Georgia. That to me is more important because it's a common opponent, even with opt-outs. It's a common opponent. That tells me a lot more.
Well, with opt-outs, it could be, worse.
Right now, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson are out of it. I bet Trey Benson ends up being out of it. And there's also one of their top edge rushers has entered the portal. Look, all I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if that game does not end up being more competitive than we think, because we also should anticipate that Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers probably won't play in this game because they're going to declare for the NFL draft. I would expect that probably
I don't think Carson Beck's going anywhere.
Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers.
Oh, I thought you – they're – watch them play.
Yeah, but come on. If they're banged up, like why
watch them play? It's the Saban Nick tree, man. If Bryce Young played in their bowl game last year, what do you think Brock Bowers is going to do when Kirby's got him?
Make sure you check out Bet Online for all of your sports betting needs. For anything that I do betting related, I go on over to betonline.ag and I use promo code BELIEVE50. BetOnline has all of the latest updated odds for the NFL and college football seasons. Anything you need, whether it's futures, live in-game betting, no matter what, your football betting needs are met at BetOnline. And again, make sure you use that promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50 to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.